Good morning and happy Sunday. How are you? I hope you're fine. If you're not feeling so well, it's probably gonna get a little bit better in the next 20 minutes because I slept in today. In fact, I overslept. So, my brain is still not fully awake yet. And I'll be tripping over my words for your entertainment. So you're probably gonna get a laugh or two out of this, at least. My name is Linda and I enjoy sewing, and I'm trying to share my journey with you. I'm going to sew another collection. So this time it started already. So this time I am intending to actually share my journey and show all of the work that goes into it, because it is quite a lot of work. This video will have 3 chapters today. The first one, I'm going to tell you a little bit about collection sewing. What is it? What does it mean to me? Why am I doing it? The second chapter will be about the inspiration and concept. What is my idea for the next collection that I'm doing, which will be for autumn and winter, so colder months, colder temperatures, a little bit transitionary. So perfect to start it at this time right now, because I could have started in springtime, but let's be honest here, there is no motivation to do it when it's starting to get warm outside to be sewing winter coats, so whatever, Third chapter will be the actual tangible sewing plans, as in I'm taking the concept and turned it into sewing plans. We're going to look at fabrics, we're going to look at the patterns. Basically, it's gonna get juicy. So if at any point you feel like, I really don't care about the concept, I really don't care about any ideas, I just wanna look at the plans, feel free to, jump ahead, because I put the chapters down below. But you and I, we're going to start with chapter 1. Collection sewing. What is it and why am I doing it? I need to start a little bit in 2020. I'm going to go a little bit back to 2020 for you, because I was really bored with the way that I was making clothes. So I've been sewing since 2009 and I love everything about it. But I don't know, I was in a bit of a hole, I will say. A little bit of depression in there as well. But it was mostly just feeling uninspired and not wanting to churn out another make, not make like another blouse and just having everything kind of be disconnected. So really just the idea of churning out another make after the other, I wanted to lie down and take a nap, basically. I was essentially looking for a more meaningful way to create, and I studied history of art, so I have a background of looking into concepts and also making exhibitions where you kind of have a more abstract concept and you take artworks from a lot of different people to kind of, bring it all together and create a whole viewpoint, create a whole story. And that is one part of my background. I haven't been working in that field in a while, but this idea kind of always stuck with me. And I thought, I've been doing outfits before, like themed outfits where I just have one idea in mind and then I just create a whole outfit with coordinating fabrics. And I thought to myself, why not do it on a bigger scale? And a bigger scale would be to make a collection. And in early 2020, I stumbled on a YouTuber. Her name is Tomcat Stitchery. She's a seamstress and she started this idea of sewing modules. She talked about this idea of having several modules in your closet for perfect mix and matchability of your clothes, just to kind of not stand in front of your closet and feel like you don't have anything to wear and nothing goes with each other, to not have it disconnected, but to sort of have like a connected overall theme. And I'm going to link her video down below, because she did the Great Module Sew Along, where a lot of people started with it. And that for me as well felt already a bit better, but I took it a little bit further by taking the whole idea and putting a concept into it. Let's take a moment and talk about module sewing and collection sewing, because there is a different approach to designing it. Module sewing has a very, very clear goal, and it is to reach the maximum amount of matchability with your clothes. And you have basically 2 guidelines to fulfill. The first guideline is that you pick your color palette. You have one base color, you have your accent color, and it's just ensuring that everything kind of goes with each other. And the second guideline that you're trying to fulfill is the maximum amount of matchability by the silhouettes that you pick, by the patterns that you choose, to just make sure that this is something you want to wear. You see every outfit, you know, every jacket goes with every top goes with every bottom. And you basically, it's a very practical way of sewing, of approaching sewing plans, making sewing plans. Collection sewing has a different approach, where the goal is to take an abstract concept and turn it into clothes. So there is the abstract concept and abstract idea as an overarching principle that dictates your designs that you choose. Now, I am not a fully fledged designer, not by any means. I just love playing with concepts. In 2020, this really sparked my inspiration again, and I've done a collection. You will find everything down below as well to check out, because the name was Minimal Masque Femme, and it was about my feelings of being somewhere between feminine and masculine, and kind of sitting a little bit between the chairs when it comes to the subject. And that was the first one, and I just fell in love with the concept. I loved it, so I'm making it again. And we get to chapter 2 now, where we're talking about my overarching concept that dictates my design and what that concept is. I have to say, it is a little bit awkward for me to talk about it, and I am much better at writing about this, so I have included my blog post down below. If you really want to go into detail, have a read about it. I'm just going to give you the smallest little overview. My ideas started when I went to a fabric market in late summer 2020, I would say. Because I found a beautiful fabric there. I already went to this fabric market thinking that I wanted to find fabrics for my collection. And the way that I shop for collections or for fabrics in general when I go to markets is I look out for a special fabric. Because like the regular ones, regular jerseys and everything, like I know exactly where I can go, where I can buy them. So for me, they're kind of replaceable. Whereas if it's a market, I know I can only get this fabric there, and then it needs to be a special one. And that's like, the rule is basically, if I see the fabric and I don't take it home with me, am I going to think about it in a month's time? Like, am I going to really remember this fabric? Is it that memorable? If it's that memorable, I need to get it. I knew for my collection as well, there would be probably something like this. I didn't know what exactly I was looking for. I didn't have a color palette at that point or anything. You know, you need to get a bit closer because we're doing a little bit of story time now as well. I'm always looking out for the specialty fabrics. We went through all of the market, and I basically didn't, like, I found some beautiful special fabrics, but and I got a few, but not for the collection until the very end. I think it was like the last 2 or 3 stalls. And you know, like late summer sunshine is like very warm, and it got caught in one of the fabrics there. And I got drawn because it was glowing. It was just properly glowing in this beautiful, like bronze, shimmering rust color. And you know, I just had to go and check it out. Oh boy. Like, I knew I needed to take it home. I'm going to show it to you now. This is the fabric. And right now we don't have the sunshine, so you don't see like the full glow. It is upholstery fabric, and it has bees embroidered all over it. And it has this gold outline with like the clean black and white bees. And what I like as well, if I'm going a bit closer, is you see this blue thorax that the bee has. This blue is matching my last collection blue. And depending on like seasonality and just, you know, like matchability of my clothes, I'm always happy if I can combine them. So I already know if I really want to go crazy with the colors, I can just wear this with some of my crazy electric blue pieces and it's going to still fit. So that was the nice little detail that I loved as well. And what was interesting was that this is a scrap. So, you know, they didn't even have a full yardage of the fabric anymore. They had basically 2 scraps, and I picked both of them. Yeah, it is quite sturdy. It has a lot of structure because, like I said, it's an upholstery fabric, and that only meant one thing. And I'm laughing a little bit here because you may or may not know that I do have a thing, or some might even call it a slight obsession with outerwear. I love my jackets, I love my coats. So just the fact that this is where I started again, because with the other one I kind of started, well, not with the fabric, but also like the jacket was kind of the first thing that I knew there as well, is starting to get a bit hilarious, but you know, it's fine. So it started with the bees, with the bee concept. And bees are also some of my favorite animals in general. So, you know, it just, it made sense. I think I'll try to insert a picture where you can see actually how it looks like when the sunlight gets caught in it, and then you're probably gonna know what I mean with this fabric having a very, very rich glow, like super rich. Just looks very, very luxurious. This is where it started with the bee fabric, but that's only the starting point, right? What I usually do is I take the fabric and then I have a shelf that is right next to my sewing table where I just put fabric that need to spark some more inspiration or need to spark some ideas, because it's right next to my bed. I'll wake up, I will see it, and you know, things will come up. What's my connotation to autumn? What am I thinking of when I'm thinking of autumn? I am thinking of colors like this as well, right? Because we do have the golden autumn, we have the very beautiful like rust shades, we have orange, we have more yellow, we have some brown tones, and just you know, golden autumn, this feeling as well. It's like very luxurious. When I think of autumnal fabrics, I think of on the one hand I think of like leather, and on the other hand I think of some very like luxurious fabrics like velvet, like with very, very deep richness. I think of fabrics like denim as well. I think of fabrics like silk with like this very peachy kind of quality that just feels and looks very soft. So a lot of softness, a lot of mixed with a lot of texture and structure, and basically like that is what I'm thinking of. So I already kind of knew some of the connotations and a bit more in the fabric realm of what I wanted to combine with it. And then I've taken the bees as well. What do bees represent to me? What am I thinking of when I'm thinking of bees? And as well, always for me, what's going on in my life right now, or what has been going on in my life this year? What is the connotation or the connection that I'm kind of making? How am I feeling, right? Because how we're feeling is essentially always connected to what we went through or what we're going through right now. So there's always this little like I will say psychological aspect to everything that I'm making and designing, for sure. And for me in 2020 it was quitting my master's degree, because I realized it didn't fit me anymore, and just, you know, taking that, I will say, courageous step into working my way into a new field and finding a new job. It was like a very transitionary time that kind of got stifled a bit because of Corona, as it did for everybody. But bees are the animal that I think of when I'm thinking of hard work. Because, for example, they only produce, like a single bee produces 1/12th of a teaspoon of honey in its entire life, right? So that's like basically nothing, and it's like working very, very hard. And because my mind was kind of caught up with, what do I want to do with my life? How do I want to work? Where do I want to work? Where do I want to go from here? I kind of took this idea of working with me as well. And a big part of my inspiration is workwear because of bees. And I like workwear. It's a bit more masculine. It's kind of cool. I like it a lot. And because I think that actually it's quite luxurious. The fabric is very luxurious. And things like honey are very luxurious as well, if you think about it, right? Like 1 bee, 1/12th of a teaspoon. We have a whole jar. It's very luxurious. And working and spending so much time of your life at work as well it's very luxurious. Right? And I'm not saying that it's good to spend so much of your time at work. That's not what I mean. It's just, you know, it's a big portion of our life, actually. And it is luxurious to dedicate so many hours of your life to a specific task. So my concept name for this is BEE LUXE, which is heavily workwear inspired, but it is a luxurious version of it. Which brings us to chapter 3. What are my actual tangible plans? What the heck am I making? But I need my glasses first, because I also have my sketchbook next to me, because I don't remember all of the names of every single piece that I planned, you know? So my sketchbook is right here. Got it, got it. There will be pictures of it up on my blog if you're curious and want to see it. Before we get into the actual plans, there are a couple of things that I'm always keeping in mind when I'm making plans like this. I have a few guidelines. The first one is obviously the overarching design concept, aka my inspiration name, concept name, collection name, which is BE LUXE, right? So the idea behind that, I just delved into it, is in one sentence, luxurious version of workwear that has a connection somehow to bees. That is the concise inspiration. And then I have a couple more guidelines that I'm keeping in mind. The first one is seasonality. I'm making this one for autumn and winter, and that means colder temperatures in general. There will be lots of layering pieces. I need to keep in mind that we will have -degrees in winter because we do have proper seasons where I live here. There will be -degrees. There will be, can go up to like 20 degrees if it's like a warm autumn day. So, you know, I have quite a wide range of things to cover, and that means layers. In the same category for seasonality falls my activities. What am I doing? Because the clothes that I'm actually sewing, like I am wearing them every day, right? Like the tracksuit that you've seen me wear, like I made it for me to wear it. So I need to keep that in mind. What are my main activities in autumn, winter? What do I like to do? What do I need to dress for? Basically for practicability reasons. How am I moving through life? How am I moving around? Right? One aspect of me, for example, is that I like to cycle a whole lot, and I have a racing bike, so I have like a high upper steel frame, and dresses with that are just not very practical. I also don't really like dresses that much on myself in general, but you know, just for practicability reasons, it's easier for me to make bottoms. So obviously, I planned only with trousers for this collection. I have a set color palette. My color palette is the rust shade that we've seen before. It's basic black and it is basic white. The third guideline that I'm always keeping in mind is mix and matchability, because I'm kind of taking the little hint of module sewing there, where in my mind, in my collections, every piece needs to go with each other. Like everything needs to mix and match for me under this overarching concept. Let's get into the plans. Let's get into the good stuff. Because this is a transitionary collection and needs to cover a wide range of temperatures, I have planned one section of the tops for autumn and one section of the tops for winter. I would say let's start with the jacket first, because that's where I started planning this, right? So my idea is BE LUXE, and we've already looked at the starter fabric, but let's do it again because it's so pretty. This is my starting fabric, and I really, really like these denim jackets with the shearling lining, and I'm going to make it but more luxurious. And I do have a fabric as well, this one here, which is a faux shearling out of this beautiful rust fabric, as you can see, and I'm going to make a detachable lining for the jacket. The pattern I'm using is one from Knit Mode, from an older magazine. You can see it up here. It is from 2017, so that is a bit older. I'm going to line the front bodice and the back bodice with this, and for the sleeves, I believe I will get a quilted winter lining that is a bit thinner. Sweater sleeves still need to fit underneath. So we'll make it a bit oversized to fit everything. And because this will be a detachable lining, I will going to secure it with snap fastenings to the outer shell. This will be for autumn, and if it's getting colder, for winter, and maybe even for a colder summer day, because then it will be essentially a jeans jacket, right? That's the idea behind it. And my camera died. Let's start looking at the lighter tops first, so the ones that I've planned for autumn. I have planned 5 tops. 3 of these are shirts, and then I have 1 cardigan, and I have 1 sweater, because that's the baseline for versatility when it comes to tops and changing and being able to put layers. And let's start maybe with the first one because I don't have fabric for it yet. The first one will be a basic crew neck t-shirt. I'm going to get some white fabric as a baseline, and I'm intending to learn how to make some pattern on top of it. I can't tell you 100% what I'm going to do. I have an idea because I do have a stamp with bees, and I've made for my blog, I've taken this picture here and just stamped this piece of paper. So I might see if I can do something like this, get some golden paint to just, you know, like make a custom made print. But I will learn, and I think I'm going to document the process because, you know, maybe I need to make a new stamp for it. Maybe it's a bit too small. We don't know yet, we will see. So will be one t-shirt. Then let's look at the shirts. The second shirt that I'm making is a button-up. This looks a bit wild because it's an assortment of fabrics. I'm using a couple of different fabric scraps for it, and it is this pattern from the knit mode from issue 2016. It's the 9th issue of 2016. And what I like about this is it has an overlay. You can see here in the technical drawing the front where it has just a clean overlay. And in the back it crosses like this. And for the cross I am going to use this one, which is a little silk organza. It is see-through. It's a see-through fabric, silk organza. And if I'm going to cross both of these in the back, I believe it's going to look a little bit like wings, you know, like the folded wings on the back of bees. So that is my bee connection with this shirt here. My second button-up that I'm planning, the fabric's right here. Second button-up that I'm planning is from Named Clothing. I have sewn this before. I love the shape, and just look at the fabric. It is a Cupro viscose fabric in this beautiful little rust piece, a peach-like rust color, and it has the sheen and the structure, like the velvety structure that usually silk has. And yeah, nice, it focuses. And I'm making this blouse out of it. It's named the Stella blouse from Named Clothing, and I love the color because it has a hexagon shaped color, and hexagon shape obviously makes me think of beehives and like honeycombs. I already know which buttons I want for this one, and the buttons are also going to be a hexagon shape. And the two sweaters that I'm planning for it, the first sweater is this one. I've sewn it about 1 million different times. I'm using this fabric, which is, as you can see, just like a very, very cozy Nikki fabric. Nikki fabric also has this type of like velvety, very soft structure. Perfect for autumn when it's getting colder outside and all you want to do is just bundle up. And what I'm doing with this is I'm embroidering it all over with bees. I already drew the bees. I've already tried to embroider once. Yeah, I think I'll need to make a proper video for that, and we're going to look at that. And then for my other autumn piece will be a cardigan. This is the cardigan, the general pattern that I'm using. I'm going to hack this pattern into having a shawl color, so it's going to look like this. And I have these two fabrics for it. Two different shades of gray. It's exactly the same fabric, just so that you can see a bit, because it is quite structured actually. It does have, yeah, you can see the structure, right? Yeah. So for the bodice, I'm going to have the pattern run like this, and on the shawl color, I'm going to have it just, you know, like run vertically. And I'm going to embroider it a little bit. And I've done a little test just to kind of see what it would look like. And it would kind of look like this, but this would be the color. So I would accentuate the horizontal stripes that the vertical stripes that we have here. The pattern hack as well, like how to hack a general cardigan pattern into a shawl color, I think I'm going to document for you if you want. And these are my autumn pieces, and let's do my winter pieces now. I have two sweaters and I have one kind of like long-sleeved shirt, just like a general shirt. Let's start with that one first. I do have this very, very dramatic black floral that I just love. It's a cotton jersey, basic cotton jersey, and I'm making the Nico top out of this. I think it's my favorite pattern for tie turtleneck. I've made so many versions of this, so many different fabrics as well already, for like summer, autumn, winter. Like basically I wear it all year long. So this is a nice layering piece, and the dramatic florals, like for bees. Obviously, I don't really need to say more. And then I have one turtleneck, and I only have the fabric rest to show you for now because I've already made it. I've already made the turtleneck, and this is a very velvety type of knit fabric. The camera makes it pop a bit more than it does in person. It's a little bit more muted in person than it is there, but it's just a basic turtleneck. But what I like about this is you can see the pattern that I'm using right here, and basically I'm making a pattern hack. I'm using the same pattern as I do for the black sweater that will be embroidered. I'm just adding the color. I'm just changing the color myself, and I will also make a little tutorial about this so that you can basically take your favorite crew neck sweater, and turn it into a turtleneck that you want. I have one cardigan left, and this is the fabric rest that I'm using. And my BEE connection here is that the fabric structure almost looks like, it's very textured. It almost looks a little bit like hexagon, and it also reminds me of honeycombs when you look at them. This is a basic grandpa cardigan that I'm making. I think because this is a fabric rest, I've made a cardigan out of this before as a gift for somebody, and I don't think I have enough for the button section anyway, so I think I need to substitute and add a little bit of fabric. Maybe I can take one of the other gray ones that I have for the autumn one, because it will be nice and thin. Color-wise it would fit, so we will have to see. Which leaves us with the last pieces. That's the bottoms. So I have 3 bottoms. The first bottom that I have will be out of this lovely pinstripe fabric. It is a little bit thinner. It is viscose and wool blend, I believe. And you know, the strips, they also run vertically as they do here, and I'm going to make these regular slacks out of them. The pull-on slacks from Stylark. I'm going to make a tiny change about the pattern. I'm just going to replace the full fly front with a fully functioning one, because I don't really like the full ones that much. It makes it easier to get it on and off, especially. Works more to not have to squeeze them over my hips that way, you know? So that's the first one, and stripes with bees. I think this is gonna look super cool as well, to have this as the pants, and then with the jacket as well, you know? I think it's just gonna look super cool. The second pair that I have will be out of faux leather. And this is my most favorite leather that I've ever sewn with, like full leather. I've made a full-on leather jacket out of this before, that I haven't fully posted about it, so nobody's, like the internet has not seen it yet, only a small progress picture. But I like it. It's thin, it's very buttery soft, it really looks like real leather, and I think it's just divine. Like, I love this full leather. I am going to make this pair of pants, which is a wide-legged pants. You might ask yourself, where is the workwear connotation here with this, or the BEE connotation? And the workwear connotation I see is that it reminds me of the sailor's pants, you know, like the white ones with like all of the buttons, except that it doesn't have the buttons. I do have quite a bit of fabric, so we'll have something left over, which is good, because I'll be needing the leftover scraps of this with my last pair of bottoms, which is an overall. I'm making a boiler suit. I'm making this boiler suit right here, and I am using some denim scraps that I have from my old project, from my last collection as well. It's just a regular structured denim. I'll be using the black denim basically everywhere. I will use the leftover leather for the collar. for the pockets and for, I think, like only the back half of the sleeves. I think there I'll also use the leather, and I believe the belt as well. And these are all of the pieces in my collection for BE LUXE. Now the only thing left is actually to sit down and sew. I will keep you updated with videos. I'm aiming to make a video for every weekend, so Saturday or Sunday. Haven't settled on a full schedule yet. All the other information that you need if you want to look exactly at which piece I made, I have a blog post down below that you can check out. Go and follow me on Instagram as well for some snaps, and have a lovely day. I will see you again soon. Have a lovely Sunday. Bye. Like late summer, you know, so you have the summer sunshine, like the late summer sunshine. Damn. I wasn't kidding in the beginning when I said that words are hard today, which is always the best possible setup to make a video, right? Or say anything, or to have a presentation. And essentially, like, filming a video is nothing else than having a presentation. It's just that there's physically right now not somebody sitting in front of me, except for that one fly that's there, but you know, that's my audience.